Okay, 33 minutes going past 4 o'clock. This is Lagos Talks 91.3. It's a fantastic Thursday, 24th of March, 2022. We're smelling the weekend already, but let's finish proper business before we start talking about the weekend. Welcome to the office. We're going to begin with that. And of course, that will run up until 5 p.m. We have, as usual, our content lined up for today. The office generally talks about the lifestyle in the workspace and how we can be better at doing what we do within the work environment. As usual, we have our guests. We have Funke Medun, and ACIPM director with Leapworld Limited. She's here with us on the office for today. Let's say hi to her. Funke, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, hi to you too. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic.
Okay, all right.
It's been a long day, though. I'm at the
Okay.
CIPM Lagos conference. So
Oh, okay.
it's been a long day, but I'm happy to step out to do this.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
It's been a very dramatic week anyway, as far as workplace environments are concerned. I don't know if you're following the trend, what has been happening as regards treatment of employees. That's on the side anyway, but it's been a very dramatic week so far. A lot of people have been talking about things happening within the workspace, but maybe some other time we'll have a chance to delve into that. But you're welcome, Funke. You with Leapworld Limited. We understand that you have a wealth of experience as far as what you do is concerned. What you do spans business development, relationship and team management, building and maintaining strategic alliances. Also that you hold a first degree in geology, which is interesting, an MBA at that as well, from the prestigious Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University, Nigeria, and currently you are a doctoral research student. Is that correct, ma'am?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so let's quickly jump on to what we have today. It's something that a lot of people don't really, or maybe they do it, but they don't realize that this is the concept of what it is called. And it's building an intrapreneurial culture in an organization. So I had to rehearse that before I said that, so pardon me. What exactly is the idea behind the concept of intrapreneurship, in your own words?
Okay, so if we look at the words intrapreneurship, and if you look at the mother word, entrepreneurship, so take it that entre is the external. I mean, if you want to take it literally, to keep it very simple, intra is inside. So an entrepreneur, or the act of entrepreneurship, is the act of someone that is not really the owner of the business, not the person that conceived the vision, not the person that set up the venture, working inside that organization, but behaving with the vision, with the agility, with the characteristics, with the trait, and working in that organization that he or she doesn't own, with the mindset of an owner. So if you keep it simple like that, that's what an intrapreneurship. So it's just the act of working, running someone else's business like your own. So you have certain traits and characteristics that makes those people being defined as such.
Okay, interesting. So it's a business within a business, to put it shortly. Is that what you're trying to say? It's a business.
Yeah, so you champion, you're like a business, you're not the business owner, but you're taking ownership of a business owned by someone else.
Okay. So what's the difference between this and brand management within a company?
What's the difference between what?
Between this intrapreneurship and being a brand manager within a value chain.
Okay, so I can be a brand manager as a job function, you know, so it's just the function of my role. So I'm supposed to create a good brand, visibility, great awareness, position the product or the business as a great brand. It doesn't mean that I am taking ownership. I'm behaving like the owner of the business. So an intrapreneurship is just like an owner. You are total in your approach to running and managing that business. You take it like your own. So you're not looking at it from a job function perspective. Like a brand manager can just look at it as a job role, as a job function. But an entrepreneur is holistic. You are not the owner of that business, but your traits, your capabilities, the way you run that business, you take ownership within someone else's business. Meanwhile, you are not the creator of that particular business.
Okay, let's talk about something else. You're a seasoned person at what you do. So speak to us as a seasoned practitioner right now. Is the intrapreneurial culture, the culture itself, is it widely accepted in organizations in Nigeria and even beyond Nigeria and Africa and even all over the world? What would you say is the acceptance rate or level currently?
So let's put it this way. I don't have data to back it up. So I can't say this is 1%, 10%, because if I'm really not data for you, then that means I have some figures to back it up. But let me tell you from my experience of working with thousands of entrepreneurs, okay? Because my forte is also building entrepreneurship models and working with a lot of entrepreneurs. I can tell you that two ways to look at it. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they are recruiting and trying to get people into their businesses, they say, one of the characteristics I'm looking at is someone to take ownership skills, entrepreneurship traits, because you want someone to come into your business and be able to run with a vision. So you want people that can run with your objectives. You want people that can see the big picture that you are saying, because entrepreneurs have big picture. It's not what they are doing currently that drives them. It's that big picture that they are chasing. So you want someone to be able to come in and own that your vision with you and run with it. So that's what we say we are looking for. So I can say that we look forward to that as an entrepreneur globally, because those are the people that can actually make things happen for you. And a lot of them transit to become partners and maybe shareholders in your business. They grow with it because they have what we call institutional memory and ownership. However, now this is the however. So I hear a lot of micro entrepreneurs say, oh, this person, and this is where a lot of people get afraid. This person wants to take over my business. So they want to hold some trade secrets, so to say, oh, they can easily replicate my business. But you see, what I say is that if your business is your business, if you are the owner of that, ideas are there flowing there anyway. Anybody can pick it up and run with it. But if it is your own idea, nobody can run it like you. It is you. There can't be two of you. You're only one of you. Okay. So, but if you don't give a fertile ground, an entrepreneur will not thrive in your organization. Can't catch the vision and can't run with it. So on paper, or good to have, we like the entrepreneurs because they will help our business. They will run with our vision. In practice, a lot of small businesses, especially when you don't have structure. Structure is always the problem.
Yeah.
If you have a good foundation, you want to build a 10-story building, okay, and you're on level 1, level 2, you're not afraid that it will collapse, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you put a foundation of 2-story building and you want to build 10 stories on it in your mind, by the time you get to level 3, level 4, even you'll be afraid, small, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's always the challenge I think a lot of our small businesses have. But entrepreneurs are the people that will run with our business, that will help our business to blossom, and grow and run with those visions that we have set for ourselves. So we like it, we desire it. But in practice, a lot of people don't embrace it. They don't put the fertile ground that is required, for them to thrive. But it is globally desired in order to help businesses to grow.
Thank you for that one. We're going to come back to more explanation regarding that. You're listening to Lagos Talks 91.3. We have our guest, Funke Medun. She's an ACIPM director with Leapworld Limited. Of course, you know that the office is proudly brought to you by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Nigeria, that's CIPM. And of course, here, Lagos Talks 91.3. We've been talking about building an intrapreneurial culture in an organization. And we've talked about the level of acceptance generally in Nigeria and all over the world as well. But Funke, what do you think? What do organizations actually benefit or stand to gain for encouraging an intrapreneurial culture within the system?
Okay, so let me use myself as an example. I'm here in Abeokuta.
Okay.
I don't even know, maybe I've been touching base with the office on WhatsApp, maybe once in a while. I've been off my office for days. I was off maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. See, it takes a lot of God, and it takes to having some structures and system, and having people that understand what your business is about, what your vision is, what your values are, and to have the right climate in place for you to run with that. So, for example, from what I've given you, it helps the business to grow, okay, without really having to micromanage people that work in your organization. My work is going, it frees my time to do other things I want to do as an entrepreneur. So it helps you to also develop capacity for growth in your organization. So it helps growth. That's the first thing I want to bring to the table. If you want to grow your business, it can't be all about you alone. You work with others, either your talent within the organization, these entrepreneurs that you want to build, or you work with other people. So it aids growth. Another thing is it helps people to come up with ideas. People are able to cross-fertilize, challenge the status quo. They help you with new products development. So they bring innovation into the system. It helps these entrepreneurs that you've allowed to blossom to bring new ways of doing things. It helps leadership. And of course, ultimately, it helps product profitability. Two good heads, they said, better than one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I can bring a profit of 100 million, and I have another entrepreneur that is behaving like meaning me in my organization, that can help me bring another 70 million. What are we talking about here? I have 170, isn't it? So it makes me more profitable. I've built capacity. I have it helps my growth. It frees my time as the owner of the business to do strategic things, you know. And of course, it helps succession planning on its own. So there are lots of benefits there that if we align that culture and climate to be in place in our organization, the benefits are just huge.
Interesting. Intrapreneurship. So what we're trying to say now is there are more benefits from encouraging this culture. But when you think about it deeply, you realize that you're encouraging your team members or members of staff within the system to begin to look at the business as their own and perhaps become innovative towards, driving,
Business.
profitability and all that, the progress of the entire business. If you look at Nigeria right now, do you think managers or CEOs are encouraging that culture? Do you think there's some sort of bar that they have to skip over because there's a cultural perspective to, like you said, a lot of people want to be scared that, oh, you want to take over my business. You can't be making decisions and all that. You're going to take over one day. So there's that fear inherently in the minds of CEOs. So what do you think? How do you think managers right now are encouraging innovation? Because that's one aspect of this entire concept of intrapreneurship.
Okay, so there's something we usually say in the HR Palace. We usually say that when we are talking about culture is actually big for growth in any organization. Having a robust culture that's it's growth. So it's just like a climate. If you want you're planting something and you want the seed that you have planted to thrive, you have to nurture it. You have to provide nutrients, right? You have to let photosynthesis take place. So if it requires sunshine, you make sure that it's where the sun can really shine on it, and all that. So there are two ways. It takes two to tango. So it's two ways, both for so I'm speaking to the entrepreneurial people in organizations now and to the entrepreneurs. So for the entrepreneurs, so things we need to do is we have to have an open mind, okay? If you don't look for something, you're not likely, you may find it, but you may not also find it. So you have to find it, you have to desire it, and you have to create a climate that helps people you have to empower people. Okay, you can't keep micromanaging every time. And even if you have to micromanage at the initial stage of your business, depending on the stage of your business. So by the way, we have different stages of business. We have for this micro, small, and medium enterprises. They could be at the nano business stage, they could be at the micro stage, they could be at the small or medium and the large enterprises are, these categorization are based on size of employees in your organization and your asset base. So depending on the stage you are, I think the people that struggle most will be the nano, the micro, and probably a lot of the small businesses.
Because it seems
Why?
like they don't have structures.
Yeah, so the structure to build that trust and capacity may not be there. However, it is not impossible. So what I would encourage my MSME entrepreneurs is to not only desire it or to be looking for it in their JDs, but you have to put that climate. You have to empower people. You have to train people. You have to give them the chance to be innovative. I'm not saying that you should let everybody throw caution to the wind, but it's your business at the end of the day. So you have the ultimate responsibility for growth. So I'm not saying you should go to bed and sleep, but at that stage of your business, you have to also put the right structure and climate in place for them to thrive. Then for the intrapreneurs, that everybody doesn't have to start a business. Do you know? Some people will grow to be MDs of organizations and they will thrive. And we've had testimonials, people that started from small businesses and they became large enterprises. And you see people that started with them. Some people started their career in those organizations. There's a big TV station I know in Nigeria. And when I did a strategy session for them some years back, I see how they have grown. People that they said joined them from youth core time. And they are big people in those organizations. And those organizations have blossomed. So they become intrapreneurs within those organizations. So for the entrepreneurs, I have to also let them know that, look, if you think the entrepreneur chances, don't be frustrated. They need trust. So I'm talking to you that it's not that they don't want you or desire you, but you need to build a level of trust with them. You have to give them time. You have to also prove that you can be trusted. You know, so beyond you wanting to desire, wanting to grow with an organization, it takes two to tango. So you have to also demonstrate your loyalty, your dedication, your competence. And when the entrepreneur sees that, they will give you the right climate for you to thrive. But beyond that, I'm encouraging the entrepreneurs to having that climate as part of their structure and system so that they can discover the right talents that can help their business to grow.
Interesting. Funke, thank you so much so far for touching on some of these things quite in-depthly. But let's talk about something else right now, the HR body as a whole. What role do you as an HR professional or your colleagues in this profession, what role do they have in all of this?
Okay, so we have a great role to play as HR professionals. In fact, they nurture the system. You see, when you're an HR person in an organization, your job is not just to be reeling out policies. Your job is to understand the business and see how you can use human resource. You know, human resource, we have, just like you have other forms of resources, financial resource, you are dealing with human resource, and that is critical to the growth. So there are lots of concepts, there are lots of theories. If you look at the resource-based theory, for example, concepts, which a lot of research has dwelled on, and it's been proven to really be very intense, that for an organization to be competitive and to help growth and performance, the quality and the type of human resource they have and the knowledge that is inherent in that system is very important and critical to growth, and success of those organizations. So my HR role is that we need to be there to create that, to help nurture a great climate. If you don't find structure in an organization, you have to help build the structure. If the organization doesn't, the owners of the businesses doesn't really appreciate that, you have to bring your expertise, your emotional intelligence, your business skills, and your HR expertise to make a case. I'm not saying go and complain. You have to make a case. You have to let them see what's in it for them and help create that culture that can thrive. You have to put the right policies, the right system, reward system, incentives. You are like the advisor, to the entrepreneurs. That's your own job to help, to make this come to bear in those organizations. And in succession planning, you have to also help identify those entrepreneurs in those systems by this kind of structure, your performance management and reward system, and nurture those with a plan in place, that can encourage such capabilities in the organization.
Okay, so let's talk about this right now. Do you think, like you've talked about how you want to encourage CEOs to inculcate this culture within the system, but do you think there's certain behaviors, maybe from the business owners or from the HR professionals or from wherever that is within the system, do you think there's any sort of behavior that could, to a large extent, hinder this culture of intrapreneurship? For example, micromanagement right now, amidst other, sort of like toxic behavior within the professional setting, do you think there are other behaviors that could hinder the establishment of intrapreneurship?
Oh, yes, you can. The example I gave about planting a seed and you want it to grow. So even if someone has entrepreneurial traits, so there are certain characteristics that make us to identify who are entrepreneurs in our system, and we need to empower them. So imagine you have a seed that you have planted. It's a grain plant. So, our simple biology with our integrated science, photosynthesis, you need to have the sun, right?
Yeah.
You need to have water. You need to have certain things in place. You now put something that needs the sun to thrive. You went to put it under your bed and there's no light in that room. What is going to happen? You already want to kill the plant. So it's the same thing like the kind of culture we build as entrepreneurs. If you are so fond of not empowering people, if you don't have a system that is open-minded, where people can express their ideas, where people can come up to give you suggestions, you're already building a climate of they can't even come up. To come up with innovation. So we need to have a system that encourages innovation. You get constant feedback. You don't need to keep micromanaging every time. It could be a temporary thing, but you need to have a way to go above that. You need to train them. You need to have a good onboarding system. You need to let the people see the big picture. Sometimes entrepreneurs don't even know how to communicate their vision. You don't know how to communicate the big picture. So even an entrepreneur in your organization doesn't know whether there's a future for them in that organization. There was something that was said during the conference that I am on now. And, there was this story of a young lady in an organization that just went to sit with the CEO. Said, the CEO at lunchtime. And this young lady, new in the organization, just went to sit straight with the CEO during lunch. And it was like, who is this girl? And she was just the one interviewing the CEO. And at some point, the man had to ask him, "You go, man, why are you asking me all these questions?" And alas, the lady said, "So I know how long I'm going to stay in this organization." She was trying to see whether there's future for me.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was no open system, there would not have been chance for that person to be able to engage the CEO. So I'm saying to my CEO people, have that open system that encourages innovation, that encourages people to give feedback, that encourages people to be able to say their mind. I'm not saying they should be rude or just behave anyhow. Policies can always check those things, and performance management system that is robust in place. But we just need to create a climate of creativity, motivate people, encourage them, and an open system that encourages innovation and openness and great communication. And those are the kind of climates we need to put in place.
Okay, all right. Our time is fast spent right now. In just a nutshell, last question. I wish I could go on and on with this because we need to grind this mentality into the heads of people who run businesses, especially in Nigeria. But anyway, what do you think about micro, small, and medium scale enterprises? Do you think the structure that they have, of course, they're not the biggest, but they are somewhere. Do you think they have the structure in place to encourage, for example, MSMEs generally? Do you think that they have the structure in place to encourage intrapreneurship currently, from your own evaluation?
Talking about MSMEs, I said there are different classes of MSMEs. We have the nano enterprises. So nano enterprises are businesses that have between 1 to 2 employees and less than 3 million turnover. From what I have described to you, I'm not sure there's any system that is seriously going to be
forget about.
So some people call them owner. They say one-man business. I don't see them as one-man business. I call everybody owner managers, owner-managed businesses, which is the right and the professional word to use. But it may be tough for someone that has just me and myself, me and one person. I'm still trying to survive, and they make up the largest. They make up a bulk of the businesses that we have in Nigeria. If we look at it, the 2020 Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics and Small Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria survey, MSMEs accounted for almost 99% of the businesses in Nigeria, and the bulk of them are the nano and the micro businesses. Then a few of the small businesses and very few medium enterprises. But if you look at it from the small to medium enterprises, they still have a better structure in place. They have more staff. Okay, they have more people serving structures and functions that could help nurture those kind of climates, so that the owners of the businesses, the entrepreneurs themselves, are able to focus on strategy, okay, and growth and maybe funding requirements. Okay. So, whatever level we are, businesses should just put structure in place from the beginning. I keep saying foundation is what is important. And I use my business sometimes as an example, that you have to compartmentalize your business from the beginning and hope to grow. And that's the culture you should put in place. You don't need to have all those functions yet, but you can put structures from even your email demarcation, so that when people come into that room, they can dwell in it and nurture what you have put on ground. So structure is very important. So whether you are nano, you are micro, you are small, you are medium, the structure you have in place, the value system that you are communicating, your vision that you are sharing, the big picture, and the culture you create will determine whether people want to go with you or not. So I can tell you straight to your answer that most people don't have that kind of structure for the micro and nano businesses especially. Okay. But yeah, but it's not impossible. From my own dealings, from my own research, from my own findings, and that's what I'm talking about, especially in this part of the world. But it is encouraged, they desire it. So I mean, it's good we are talking about it. So it's not just by desiring, it's by putting the right structure and systems in place.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up right now, but let's quickly go on this commercial, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up on this conversation. You're listening to The Office here on Lagos Talks 91.3.
The Personal Management of Nigeria, ACIPM, to promote excellence and regulate the ecosystem for people management to deliver value for sustainable growth.
So what, I didn't get your name again. Remind me your name.
Unconditional love. Is it for 5 o'clock? Yeah. We also have done this it's twice. So we're going to wrap it up.
Challenges in the workplace by providing tools, resources, and solutions.
That's like in the beginning and at the end.
I just even saw it.
And develop your competencies as a professional. Join us today. Visit www.cipmnigeria.org to get started. We deliver value through people. 18 million people finally have a voice. This is Lagos Talks.
We're going to play it twice.
No. When we're done, I'll play it again. Okay, welcome back. This is The Office here on Lagos Talks 91.3. We've been speaking with Funke Medun, an ACIPM director with Leapworld Limited, and she's been talking quite interestingly about what she sees or thinks about intrapreneurship. It's a culture that we should at least promote to a large extent in organizations within and outside Nigeria. Mrs. Medun, thank you so much for being with us so far. So any last words? What are you going to say?
Yes, and I will go with my HR people. So we say culture eats strategy for breakfast. It doesn't only eat it for breakfast, it will eat it for lunch and dinner. So I'm saying that for businesses out there, entrepreneurship is good. We have nothing to worry about. It helps our business to grow, and I can't overemphasize that, So we should put the right culture and system, process and system in place to help nurture those capabilities and help our business to blossom. And that's what I want to say.
Okay, all right, Mrs. Funke Medun, thank you so much for being with us. ACIPM Director, Leapworld Limited. Definitely, we look forward to having you again on the program. You've been listening to The Office. Of course, you should know that The Office is proudly brought to you by the Chartered Institutes of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM, and of course, Lagos Talks 91.3. Mrs. Funke, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to having you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Finally have a voice. With Lagos Talks.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
The Chartered Institute of Personal Management of Nigeria, ACIPM, the promotes the ecosystem for people management to deliver value.